Good morning. This is Dr. McDaniel at GYN Corner. I'm a board certified obstetrician gynecologist in New York City, although today I'm in New Jersey because it's Saturday, and I'm bringing all things health related to women on this platform. Thank you for joining me. Today is Saturday, so I'm at the horse farm. My girls, Jill and Joy, they take horse riding lessons every Saturday. Jill's 13 now, Joy's 9. They've been riding since Jill was 5 and since Joy was 3. So Joy's been riding for 6 years and Jill's been riding for 8 years. Got it right. So we come here every Saturday that we're not out of town or there's a show or conflict, but pretty much I'm gonna say we come here every Saturday about 85% of the year. So let's see. Today I'm talking about the Well Woman's Exam, and I decided to talk about the Well Woman's Exam because a lot of people don't know what that is. Now I'm going to backtrack for a second and say that the Well Woman's Exam is not done around the world. Most other countries don't recommend a Well Woman's Exam. Pretty much it's just the states that recommends a Well Woman's Exam. And every once in a while, someone from another country would tell me they got a full exam because they were moving. So if they're emigrating, they got an exam before they came. But most other countries don't support or recommend the Well Woman's Exam. And I think it's actually becoming that way here in the States too. We're kind of moving towards that same um, scenario. So do a little sweeping panorama here for those of you on the Facebook and on the YouTube. Sweeping panorama at this end of the horse farm. So let's see, the Well Woman's Exam traditionally was an exam that was done when that person was feeling perfectly normal, no issues, no problems. She'd come into the gynecologist once a year and get an exam done to suss out if there are any issues that she wasn't aware of or brewing in the background and could potentially come back to haunt her, be an issue for her health, or uh, increase her morbidity, mortality uh, is possibility as time went on. So traditionally, the Well Woman's Exam was a full physical exam. As far as kind of GYN, it wasn't like primary care. We do eyes, ears, nose, and throat, but it would be basically a torso. So breast exam, thyroid, lymph lymphadenopathy, so thyroid, clavicles, breast exam, lungs, heart, abdominal exam, pelvic exam, and including visual inspection of the genitalia and the vaginal vault, the speculum. We'd also do we do the bimanual feeling for any pelvic masses, growth fluid collections, uterus, ovaries, and we do a digital exam, rectal exam, feeling for abnormal masses, growths, and we do a guaiac test. After the digital, we'd put a little of the stool from the glove onto a card, see if there is any potentially hidden blood from the digital exam, and then we'd send a pap smear screening test for cervical cancer. And we'd also send cultures for chlamydia, gonorrhea, trichomonas, which are sexual infections. For women 40 and over, it'd also be a referral for a mammogram for a breast cancer screen. So all of that was standard. Now, around 10 years ago, that standard changed. Feels like 10 years ago, could be a smidge longer. That standard changed. So now the Well Women's Exam is the breast exam and the pelvic exam. Does not have to include the speculum visualization of the cervix and the vaginal vault, but just visualization of the external genitalia, and does not have to include the bimanual exam if the person doesn't have any concerns that she brought up. So it's the breast exam with or without a full or partial pelvic exam and no test. Sorry, I had a little technical difficulty. And no testing, no pap smear, no cultures for infection. So the well woman's exam is just the physical exam, a limited physical exam of the breast and the pelvis. That's it. So you can see the comparison is vastly different. And as I like to tell the patients when they ask what the well woman's exam is, I like to tell them that we are in the age of the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. Now, I don't have the gold as the physician. Patient doesn't have the gold if she has insurance. The insurance companies have the gold. So we're in the age of the golden rule because he who has the gold makes the rules. So that definition of the well women's exam has shifted from the medical physician's definition to the insurance's definition. And if the patient comes in with a complaint, a concern, or a question about an issue, then it's no longer the well woman's exam. It's now a problem exam. And problem exams have to be done separately from well woman's exams. So if she comes in with a concern or a problem, then it's no longer a well woman's, it's a problem exam, and it has to be done at a separate visit because insurance plans are pretty much only paying for, and now they're not even fully paying for. Some of them charge co-pays or they have co-insurances for for the well woman's exam. So it used to be that the well woman's exam was the air quotes free exam. That's not even the case completely now. The well woman's exam, for some patients, they have to partially pay for it, or they have a copay that they pay for it. So the well woman's exam is just the physical without any problems is to suss out if there's potentially an issue that the patient was not aware of with her breast or an issue that she was not aware of with her reproductive organs. And as you can imagine, that's probably going to be fairly small percentage of people that are just completely unawares. They're going to walk in and on the breast exam, there's a big lump or mass that they weren't aware of. Or now since the American College of OB/GYN and the health insurances are saying that the pelvic exam portion is really just a visual inspection. You can do the speculum if the patient's comfortable with the speculum. And you don't have to do the bimanual to fill the uterus ovaries if she's uncomfortable with that. And I've had patients tell me they don't want that done, it's too uncomfortable. As I like to tell people, discomfort is our middle name. Shouldn't be painful, but there's always going to be some discomfort putting something in the vagina that's uncomfortable. And pressing around, filling the uterus and ovaries, that's always uncomfortable. But, a little bit of discomfort for your better well-being in the future is usually considered a good trade-off. But I guess it's an individual decision. So the catch is that the well woman's exam has changed significantly. It's dwindled down to the bare bones. And I try to educate patients, but I hate being the bearer of bad news. They come in with all these hopes and dreams and aspirations of everything they're going to get done, all the blood work they're going to get done. It used to be that we would include not just the cultures, but we'd do bloods if it sounded like she had a heavy cycle or long cycles or cycles that changed. We'd add blood work for that at the well woman's exam. We can't do that anymore. It has to be a separate visit because it's no longer just uh, a routine evaluation with no problems. Now you've added problems. And I have to warn the patients that any lab work that they want done or is deemed to be necessary or recommended may or may not be paid for by their plan, even though it's going to their insurance's lab, because they may have some kind of codicil or caveats, and a lot of people do. They have deductibles for their labs. So I hope that's been helpful on what the well woman's exam is, why it's very restricted and limited. It's a better than nothing exam, though. It's a chance to interface with the physician, to get the exam done, just in case you're in the small percentage who does have something going on that you're not aware of. And it kind of keeps you in the loop. It's a time to discuss things. I always try to discuss supplements, vitamins, and what the health recommendations are in general. But the reality is you don't get a lot for that well woman's exam. That's why a lot of the insurance plans don't charge people for it. You get a little bit, but as my husband likes to say, half a loaf is better than none. So half a loaf is better than none. It's a better than nothing exam. It's worth doing just because every once in a while something is picked up. Now, when I do the exam, I always do the breast exam, look for lymph nodes, the clavicles, the thyroid evaluation, and then I also I listen to heart and lungs, and I do the pelvic exam. And every once in a while, I'll pick up a heart issue, an arrhythmia, irregular heartbeat, or a murmur, which I'll mention to the patient to see your GP about. Uh, and from time to time, I'll pick up a thyroid mass, which will either turn out to be benign or cancer. I've picked up several thyroid cancers on patients. And of course, breast cancer, fibroids, masses. So it's worth coming in to get that evaluation done because you're not going to be able to find that on your own. And most general doctors don't do pelvic exams, and a lot of them don't evaluate the thyroid either. I don't know what that's about, but the patients have told me. So I hope this has been a helpful presentation on what is the well woman's exam, and everyone still continuing to get their well woman's exams. And let's see, it's Saturday. It's a very nice day today. I hope everyone's enjoying their weekend. Uh, we'll be back Monday. Please check out the other platforms. Go to YouTube, GYN Corner. Click the like and click the subscribe and follow button so that you get the notifications, a heads up whenever there's a presentation, and find out when the presentation's coming.